Serving Pennsylvania,
New Jersey,
and Delaware.
Now live.
This is News 10 Today.
A New Jersey state trooper and 2 other people narrowly escaped serious injury this morning after being hit by a car during a routine traffic stop in Gloucester County.
SEPTA buses, trolleys, and trains will keep running throughout the day today as union leaders and management get together for more talks.
And a hostage situation unfolds in Winslow Township, and though the bullets aren't real, police involved in this training exercise say the adrenaline out there was really pumping.
I'm sure. Good morning, everyone. It is Saturday, March 21st. I'm UC Brown, Washington.
And I'm John Blunt. Thanks for joining us on News 10 Today at Sunrise. We'll tell you right off, SEPTA is up and running today, so that is the good news. The bad news is it is wet.
Yeah, and we had a couple of things going on out there overnight. Glenn Hurricane Shorts had a nice vacation, I hope. Glad to see you back, but what a reception we threw for you, huh?
Yeah, and I flew right through this stuff last night. It was a pretty bumpy flight, and the heaviest rain has moved past much of the area right now, and that's a good thing because it's really been coming down in the middle of the night. At the moment at the airport, just cloudy skies, but it is cold, and it's going to stay cold all day. Temperature 39, the wind chill is 20. It's going to be cold with some showers at times today. We will not be getting a steady rain. We'll be not getting torrential rain, thunderstorms, and hail like we had overnight. But temperatures remaining near 40 and wind chills remaining in the teens. Showers possible again overnight tonight. Could change over to snow flurries north and west. Yeah, that's right. The word snow is in the forecast twice. That and a 5-day coming up in a few minutes. John?
Thanks, Glenn. Our top story this Saturday morning, a New Jersey state trooper is recovering from injuries he sustained in an accident. Now, it happened just before midnight on Route 42 northbound in Gloucester Township. The trooper was getting into his car after pulling someone over when his vehicle was hit. The trooper was treated and released from Cooper Hospital. 2 other people were taken to JFK Hospital. No names or conditions have been released at this time. And a Philadelphia police officer is back home after an accident involving a patrol car. This one happened at 22nd and Snyder in South Philadelphia early this morning. The officer was treated and released from the hospital. 2 other people were also treated and released from Graduate Hospital. No word yet on any of the victims' names or the cause of the accident.
SEPTA contract talks will resume this morning as both sides continue efforts to reach a mutual agreement. SEPTA service is still rolling as the Transport Workers Union looks over the latest contract offer. SEPTA officials began waiting for their response yesterday.
But what we're trying to do is analyze the costs and savings that are going to be generated by each of the elements of each proposal to look at the economics of the contract.
It doesn't matter what the union finds. The numbers are the numbers. They are KPMG, Pete Marwick, and SEPTA Finance numbers. Those are the only numbers that we can budget based on.
There is an ongoing assessment being made by the president of the local along with other local leaders. And that situation could produce a decision over the weekend that a strike is necessary.
You sort of become immune to theater at some point. We're committed to negotiating a contract.
Buses, trains, and trolleys will continue to run through today. Stay with News 10 all weekend long for the latest developments on the SEPTA strike watch. SEPTA is also concerned with a wave of vandalism this weekend. News 10 at the Frankfort Bus Depot along Pratt Street. SEPTA discovered 8 acts of vandalism at the depot Thursday night. Last week, vandals broke windows, slashed tires, and damaged air conditioners on several buses at the Frankfort site. SEPTA says it has counted 75 acts of recent vandalism at various depots and facilities.
We want to tell you about a 13-year-old boy this morning who's under arrest for the shooting death of a 15-year-old girl in Germantown. News 10 is not identifying the teenager because he is a juvenile. He surrendered at the police administration building with his parents and his attorney. The boy is accused of shooting LaToya Brown on Thursday. The 9th grader at Martin Luther King High School was waiting for a school bus when she was shot. In New Jersey, it was an emotional vigil in remembrance of teenage murder victim Tiara McClain.
Love you. I love you always, Tia.
Tiara's mother released a balloon to the heavens in gentle tribute to her late daughter. News 10 was in Trenton last night for a candlelight vigil and memorial. 14-year-old Tiara Brown had been missing since January 30th. Her body was pulled from a canal in Trenton just last weekend. Police say she had been strangled and beaten. The search continues for her killer.
News 10 has learned accused killer Tom Capano allegedly tried to hatch a revenge plot against his former mistress from his jail cell. Sources tell News 10 the government is investigating Tom Capano for supposedly plotting to have Deborah McIntyre's house burglarized and ransacked. A possible motive? Retaliation for McIntyre's cooperation with the government. Tom Capano is charged with murdering another lover, Anne Marie Fahey, in 1996. McIntyre was notified of the investigation when she met with federal agents last Friday. Sources say the alleged plot was uncovered before it could be carried out. Tom Capano is charged with first-degree murder. He maintains his innocence. He could face an additional charge of intimidating a witness. This morning, an emergency situation in South Jersey. A standoff with police. The special forces descend on the scene. It is a show of police might, and fortunately, it is only a test. News 10's Doug Schimel has more on the story.
Oh, police! Put your hands up! Hands up! All right, hit the ground.
Before the first officers on the scene can figure out what is going on, gunfire erupts.
All right.
Bank robbers have killed a double-crossing partner and have taken a woman and her 2 kids hostage, and police in Winslow Township have a situation on their hands.
The man is requesting a negotiator in 10 minutes or he's going to shoot the child.
But the bullets are rubber. This is a drill, and the kids aren't really in any danger. They are the children of U.S. Marshal Instructor John Perrine.
We're going to look at how the detectives work together with the tactical team, with the dispatchers, with the duty officers that are on location, the street supervisors.
And I'm gonna start throwing out dead people!
The gunman wants a pizza and a negotiator, but it takes too long, and the crisis unravels. The SWAT team had little information and had to go in blind. No one survived. In real life, though, everyone was okay, but there were too many mistakes.
You had a second guy in there. He panicked. He took all the hostages out, and your team came in and took him out. It's not the way we wanted the scenario to end.
For Winslow Township's finest, it is a lesson they will not forget.
My adrenaline's pumped.
Yes, it's like experiencing a real thing.
In Winslow Township, Doug Schimel, News 10.
We want to tell you about another police officer, one who was fired for failing a physical fitness test while he is going back to work tonight. This 10 was on hand Tuesday when the Haddon Heights Borough Council reinstated Officer Ed Downs. 18-year veteran once weighed 300 pounds. He was suspended in January and told he could not come back to work until he passed another physical fitness test. And guess what? He did. News 10 is happy to report that Officer Downs will be back on the job tonight on the overnight shift.
Lucky guy.
Overnight shift.
I'm sure he's glad to be back.
Lots more still ahead on News 10 this Saturday morning. A behind-the-scenes look at Philadelphia's mob lawyers.
It's like, the moth getting close to the flame.
Find out why they take the cases nobody else will.
And John, here's one that will have you put in the rabbit ears back on your TV. Find out why your cable bill is about to become big enough for a 2-part episode.
Ooh. Sports news. The Jazz tune up to 76ers. Vysika Hammer will have all of the sports coming up when News 10 Today at Sunrise continues.
But first, speaking of sunrise, day breaks at 6:03 this morning and sets tonight at 6:14. We'll be right back.
You're watching News 10 Today.
I guess I'm lucky to be alive. The doctor gave me a prescription for pain, but I forgot to mention my other medication. The drug interaction could have been fatal. Rite Aid's Life Check computer caught it instantly, since they have all my records. No one makes more safety checks than Rite Aid. Wrong medicine. That's an accident I might not have survived.
Rite Aid. It's not just a store, it's a solution.
Your home. It's where you always feel safe and comfortable. Want to feel even better? Join South Jersey Gas Company's Service Sentry program and protect your family from costly appliance repairs. With Service Sentry, our service professionals provide you with complete coverage that includes service calls, labor, and select parts. Join today. Call 1-888-766-9900. Service Sentry, another way we provide your best energy value.
So, Delmar, how many chickens have you got on this farm?
50,000.
Wow. Sometimes you get so busy on the farm, you ever miss having breakfast?
Sometimes we'll have breakfast for dinner, yeah.
Well, how about IHOP's new scrambles? Our ranch scramble is stuffed with ham, tomato, and onion, then smothered with cheese. Served with hash browns and buttermilk pancakes from $3.99.
I'd like to try it.
So this is Cliff in America's Heartland reminding you that any time is a great time for breakfast at IHOP. So, Delmar, which did come first then?
Up and at 'em, everyone. Good morning. It's Saturday morning. It's the, 21st of March, 1998. First day of spring, officially. I'm Bruce Edwards. It's Cheryl Lemke. That's right. We start spring yesterday about 2:55, so this is the first full day of springtime. It's a Saturday. You think, spring weekend, nice, lots of fun. But they'll be shoveling snow in parts of the Northeast. Shivering all the way down to the Gulf Coast, really, because it's getting colder. And I know a group of guys and gals at Canterbury Golf Club going to play their match play championship today, and they're probably tuning in this morning. Wind shirts, turtleneck sweaters. It's going to be chilly and windy today. Good luck.
It just shows us how capricious and how fickle the weather can be sometimes.
Oh, it's crazy. But it's typical of spring. Springtime, you get that snow and strong thunderstorms transition. It'll calm down in a while.
Yeah. You know, speaking of strong thunderstorms, yesterday turned out to be a rough one. And let's kind of recap what we saw yesterday. Indeed, violent thunderstorms ravaged the southeast, including a particularly deadly tornado that touched down in northern Georgia. But there were more tornadoes, too, across North Carolina, and several reports of large hail and very gusty winds. Luckily, though, the worst is over. Things have really improved dramatically across the southeast as our major storm system now has been lifting its way to the northeast. This is the water vapor imagery. It shows the northeastward track of that storm system. But even in the wake of that massive storm, we still have a little bit of moisture curling in behind it. And with enough cold air, too, wrapping down behind our storm, we've had a few flakes of snow flying this morning for Crossville and around Bristol, Tennessee, and down towards the Nashville area. And a cold rain this morning right around Asheville. The rest of the southeast, though, looks pretty dry today, so no problems whatsoever. But it's the northeast that's seeing major headaches today. Just a potpourri of weather, ice, sleet, and snow, major travel concerns throughout the northeast. The west rather calm until we head to the west coast. Here, too, we're seeing an ominous mass of clouds that are building right along the coast. That's indicating our next storm system, which will have a major impact later on this weekend for the west coast. But as it stands right now, all eyes are focused on the northeast, where we have this double-barreled area of low pressure, one low coming in across the Ohio Valley, another low, the main low that's poised off the coast of North Carolina. And in tandem, these low-pressure systems are pulling in the moisture from off the Atlantic. And again, just a mixed variety of weather conditions throughout the northeast. Currently, some heavy rain coming down for parts of Pennsylvania and on into New Jersey. There are numerous flash flood watches and warnings in effect for New Jersey and Pennsylvania, Delaware, and Maryland. Currently, it's raining very hard for those of you in Atlantic City and Trenton, New Jersey, and a very, very heavy downpour, too, in progress for the Wilkes-Barre-Scranton area of Pennsylvania. Meanwhile, as we head a little bit farther towards the north, we start to see a little bit of icing taking place. Snow wrapping in behind our storm system. It's been snowing for Buffalo and Erie, and more snows, too, for those of you in Ohio. Around Toledo and Dayton and Findlay, Ohio, you are certainly seeing a wintry start to the first full day of spring. Here's what it looks like from the radar perspective. The moisture wrapping in from off the Atlantic and again soaking downpours. For those of you thinking about jogging this morning, you may want to wait until later this afternoon as again some heavy rain clipping across New Jersey. Rain just now entering the New York City metro area. More rain spreading over across Long Island over towards the Farmingdale area. Snow though from Buffalo on into Erie, and we have some wintry conditions too back through Ohio. And even some of that snow now kind of tailing back through the Hoosier State. We've had some snow from Fort Wayne and South Bend down towards the Terre Haute and Indianapolis. So you too getting a wintry start to the first full day of spring. In the Northeast, though, a mishmash of weather. Locally heavy rain once again. Snow and ice, though, across southern sections of New England. And then threats of very heavy snow across northern sections of Pennsylvania through the eastern Finger Lakes and over towards the mid-Hudson Valley. In fact, by day's end, maybe 6 to 12 inches of snow. So if you're going to be heading off to the shopping malls or running some errands, be really careful for some very slippery conditions. Now, for those of you in Boston right now, you are seeing some snow. Some of that could be mixed with some ice, though, a little bit later on. And then total accumulations by tonight, maybe about 3 inches or snow. Likewise, for the New York City metro area, you have some rain right now, but don't be surprised to see that later this afternoon, some of that, too, could be mixing with some sleet and then turning over to a little bit more snowfall by overnight tonight. So just some really ugly weather conditions across the Northeast with, again, locally heavy snows spreading across central sections of New York State. In contrast, the Southeast looks splendid, though. High pressure keeping it very dry and very stable. So a nice day for some golf or tennis. Dallas and Houston looks great for sightseeing around the Big Easy today. And again, from Atlanta and points southward looks nice. One problem, though, that could potentially cause some concern is the fact that the winds will start to pick up somewhat across the southeast. Blustery conditions. So if you're heading off to the local lakes, watch out for some choppy waters like around Lake Lanier and Lake Allatoona near Atlanta. Dry weather, though, keeps it pretty quiet across the heartland. And again, the west, not looking too shabby, but just off the coast, it's a reminder that rain is coming our way, and we'll likely see some rain tickling the California coast a little bit later on tonight. Here's that storm system, though, cranking up in the East Pacific, and that will eventually spread the rains through Oregon and California later on tonight and for your Sunday. And a quick look at the temperatures. It's cooling down, at least for parts of the upper Midwest. We have 20s and 30s there. Cool 40s all the way down towards the Gulf Coast. So if you're jogging this morning, grab a heavier coat or a sweater. It's only 37 for Atlanta and 42 for Birmingham, but still nice and mild from Tampa Bay